Hey everyone, this is Diggy here from ForexHabits.com. Today it is Sunday, 26th of August 2012, and we're going to have a look at some various currency pairs, actually three of them that all tend to move in the same direction, which is Euro US dollar, Euro Japanese yen, and GBP US dollar. Now we're going to start with the Euro US dollar, which is difficult to read actually the last couple of months, because we had this major drop from about 132 all the way down to just over the 120 level, and then we've rallied back up to this 100 exponential moving average. Now, one thing that you could tell here is with the price action divergence compared to the RSI. So if you look at this bottom where we made here, and we made a super low here on the RSI on the daily chart, we proceeded to head up to the moving average, the 21, the 50, down, back up to the 50, all the way down. And here it made a lower low compared to the RSI, which made a higher low. So you could see, and it was likely that there was going to be some sort of rally. And it's been difficult to call that. I have mentioned a few times in my previous videos that we could go up to 126 to 129, somewhere around there. And this is what's been happening the last, say, almost 2 months. We've rallied from this low of 120.40 about all the way back up to the 100 exponential moving average. Now you can see on the daily chart how important these exponential moving averages are, and how easy it is to help them guide you for the training, because it's very likely that when the price action moves up or down towards one of these moving averages, that it is going to pose initial resistance. I mean, you can see here the 21, how it went to exactly the average and pulled down, and here up to the 50 and then pulled down, and back up to the 50 and pulled down, and here up to the 21 and down, and up to the 50 and down, and now we're up to the 100 and we pulled back from that. Now the question is it going to continue to head higher, or what is going to happen? And we're gonna have to look at a bigger time frame to be able to really tell that. So we're gonna change this to a weekly chart, and you can see the 100 exponential moving average on the daily chart is the same as the 21 exponential moving average on the weekly chart. And you can see here something that's happened that's making it look pretty bullish is the MACD histogram on the weekly chart has crossed over to the positive side. Now you can see what happens when that happens. There's usually some sort of rally, big sort of spike. You can see what happens. So that's looking bullish for the longer term. And the 100 exponential moving average on the weekly chart is back at around 132. So of course first the 50 exponential moving average on the weekly at around 129.50 is going to pose resistance, but it does look like we are going to head higher with this Euro US dollar chart. And we may have some chop. We may head back down even to as much as 123.50, around about here, this horizontal level, before, and hang around a bit, maybe even possibly a bit lower, and then head back up. But it does look like that's going higher. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the other two currency pairs, the Euro Japanese yen and the GBP US dollar, to see if we can confirm this analysis, if it does look like it's going to go higher, because these three pairs tend to move in tandem. So this is the Euro Japanese yen. It is also a weekly chart. We have here that it hasn't quite touched the 21 exponential moving average on the weekly like we did with the Euro US dollar. We haven't quite crossed over with the MACD histogram, although the slow stochastics are pointing upwards and they've moved off these oversold conditions. So there's a possibility there for higher upside. We can change this to the daily chart, see if we can see anything else. Here again you can see these averages, how well they work. I mean, here a drop back to the 21, up all the way, drop, hangs around the 100 and then back up, and here we move back up to the 21 and down, and up to the 50 and down. And you can see how these averages are. So these three averages are very special. The 21, the 50 and the 100 exponential moving averages on all time frames tend to really be support and resistance for price action. And you can see here again from this low in Euro Japanese yen how we moved up to the 21, pulled down, moved up almost towards the 50, moved down, then we moved up and we almost hit the 100 but didn't quite make it, and now we're consolidating on this 50. So it is looking bullish for the Euro Japanese yen, not as bullish as the US dollar, but I'd say that if we stay above this horizontal level of about 96.80, then we will head higher. We will probably head towards this top 101.50 and possibly higher. So finally, let's look at the GBP US dollar to see if that also confirms the trend. and this is the daily chart of the Great British Pound against the US dollar. What can we see here? The MACD histogram is in positive territory, the RSI is in positive territory above the 50, which is bullish, and the slow stochastics, they're getting kind of overbought, but it's still bullish. Price action is above all the three averages. The 21 averages crossed through both the 50 and the 100 exponential moving average on the daily chart, which is a bullish signal. So once again, this is all looking bullish. We could potentially head back down actually to these averages, which would be at this point so about 156.80. As long as the GBP US dollar stays above 156.80, then there is possibility for a much higher. However, if that does break to the downside, then it could completely change the picture. So let's just change this to a weekly chart just to be sure. We're going to clear all these annotations and we're going to see what's happening here. MACD histogram has crossed to the upside, which is positive on the weekly chart. Slow stochastics are bullish, pointing upwards, and the RSI is kind of hovering neutral around the 50 level. So what is happening with this pair? We can see we're going to draw a wedge here, and this is what it's been in for the last almost 3 years, and it's just holding so perfectly. It's here consolidating by these averages, so there's a lot of potential room for the upside. I mean, if this goes to the top of this channel, that is 165, that's another 700 pips to the upside. First target would probably be this, which would be about 161, which would correlate with the euro US dollar being about 129, 130, maybe even up to 132, as I mentioned. So there, it is looking bullish. It is looking like all three of these currency pairs, the euro US dollar, the euro Japanese yen, and the GBP US dollar, are going to head significantly higher for the coming weeks, although there may be a pullback of up to 150 or 200 pips to the downside from current levels before heading up. And if it does break down further than that maximum, then there is chance that the whole picture changes. But for now, I would be looking to go long on a pullback of maybe about 100 pips from current level, and then just managing that and riding it out to the upside. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I hope you enjoyed the analysis and that you're learning something from it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel to get these updates on your homepage in YouTube, and head over to the blog at www.forexhabits.com. Enter your email, subscribe to those updates too, get these analysis in your inbox. I'm going to help you, teach you become a better trader, help you make money in the Forex markets, and it doesn't cost you a cent. So see you on the other side. Be sure to subscribe. Cheers.